All right. We should be good. We are live. Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
If you don't know us from our everything that we do on the Suicide Moses channel, I am Corey James, and this is
James May.
we are doing something new. We're gonna do a little music podcast
with like something new. It's like screaming.
We're gonna do something new here. James and I came up with a cool idea. I mean, we obviously love music. We're heavily involved in music all our lives.
I don't.
No,
Never.
James doesn't like anything.
I don't like it. That's right.
But we had talked about it's a cool idea. I think it's a cool idea. Maybe you guys won't think so. If you don't, tell us. We're gonna kind of take an album that each of us are into or heavily listening to at the time, pass it on to each other, deep dive into them, and then come on here and discuss what we think of each other's albums, and you guys get to listen.
Yeah. Honestly, I was given a compliment yesterday. I took it as a compliment. A coworker of mine gave me an album to listen to, and another coworker was listening to me give my feedback, and they said, "You should write for a zine," and that made me feel really good because, like, I think you do the same. It's interesting. I like to listen to, because what you gave me is not something I would normally just go after.
Right. Same with you giving me this.
Right.
That's what's cool about this too is, you know, like we do. What's the thing? The
we bridge a gap.
Venn diagram.
Oh yes, I don't know, but I see what you're talking
we're like
about.
we
it's all
merge into each other's music love, but we also are very polar
different.
Opposite in most aspects. So
you will never catch me. You will never catch me listeing to the Carpenters.
Oh, come on!
and
Karen,
he will listen to it every morning. His like gaunt.
Why do birds suddenly
oven
appear?
Sorry.
Oh yeah. So today's albums, James's pick is Oranssi Pazuzu. Pazuzu. Yeah.
Pazuzu. I say Oranssi Pazuzu.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're from Finland, and all of their music is in Finnish, and I don't know. But I wanted to tell you, it's Mestarin Kinsey.
Yep.
Is how I would say it. And it means the master's claw.
Ooh, that's sick.
Right, like, and as you listen to it, it's a different approach from what they've done in the past. All of their other albums, I'll recommend one to you to like my favorite of their former work.
Okay.
It's way more not so spacey like this one. This one is
Valenwelu.
That actually.
That's from 2013. There's Cosmonoman.
Is this weird?
Cosmonoman?
No, it's Vara Till.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. 2016.
Yeah, that one. That I fucking love that album.
I'll have to check that one out too. Okay, so I'm gonna give a little bit of my take on this album, and then you can tell me why you love this album. Because obviously you recommended it because you loved it. I've listened to this 4 times, and it's an EP, I would say.
Well, but it's long.
Yeah, but each track
is
like 7 minutes long. So you get essentially you go into it thinking you're gonna listen to an EP, but you listen to a 50-minute album, 52-minute album. I love it. I love it. I love the music of it. I was really hoping when I first listened to it...
It was instrumental.
I was really hoping it was an instrumental album. I was like, oh, dude, this psychedelic drone music is just so mesmerizing that, like, especially the first time I listened to it, I was at work, so it kind of like pulls you away.
But zones you in at the same time.
Yeah, it zones you. It's very, very zoning, and then each track has like a very similar structure. It kind of slowly drones you out, and then at like 5 minutes, it's like, and I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted.
They give you what you want.
Yeah,
and that is one thing I love. I will agree with you there. It has that build.
It's got
that suspense, and that's the psychedelia of it too. Yeah. It's that feeling of like, oh, well, this is all right. Here we are. Oh man, there's something else. Holy fuck, there it is. It's like, so they give that dynamic within the music too. Like they are truly, should be called psychedelic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. When I say that it has similar structures, they also, I don't want to like elude that they don't give you variety.
Right.
Like one, I think what we have playing in the background here is the second track, and it's a little bit heavier than the first one. But the first one, like halfway through, builds to that heaviness, and then just kind of sails you right into the second track. And if you're not paying attention, you won't even know you're in the second track.
Happened. Right.
But I think it's at the end of the second one and into the third one is where you start getting that, ooh, this part. With that, like, twangy strings. Oh, dude.
Oh, dude. And then the
twangy part. Yeah, and then there's that.
Like,
yeah, that's where you get the weirdness, finally. You're like, okay, so it's psychedelic, but like, where's the part where your mushrooms really just kicked in?
Where's the mind fuck?
Yeah.
Where's the mind fuck? Because it does that. It is like a straight single coil guitar. I would like to say it's a Strat or a Tele. I don't know.
Oh, right before that yeah, it's like, it's so grungy.
Yeah, exactly. And or it could even be like a Mustang with like all the tone gone and on the bridge pickup or whatever. It's whatever that is. It's single coil and bridge pickup to just rip your head off.
Oh.
And then it adds the bass, which is always super almost synthy, because I feel like there are many people in that group. I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like there's got to be at least 5 or 6 on stage for their live performance. I don't know about the writing, because a lot of like like foreign black metal is like one person or 2 people, and then they have like a touring band or whatever. But like,
all right, so we'll read a little bit here for 1 second. Since the birth, Oranssi Pazuzu, the demon of the wind with the color of cosmic energy, has never been satisfied to stick with a formula. Each album has seen the band expand upon its previous incarnation and then, like a supernova, blow it up and transform again into something recognizable but completely new. The band was formed in 2007 by June His, Anto, Korjak, Evil, and Moit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people.
Cool.
I love the keys. I love the synth. I love the synth at the end. It fleshes out what could be a boring album. Like,
it waves it, and it also adds to that the psychedelia of it. It waves in and out. Like,
it's got an ebb and flow.
The wash. Here this comes, and now this is nice, and you're like, oh man, this is good. And then it's like, oh fuck, okay, here we are again.
Yeah, you had said to me when you gave me this that you got it on vinyl.
Yes,
Saturday
that
morning,
was the plan. That was the plan.
And you were gonna do that, and I was like, listening to it, thinking about back to the last time that I had tripped and the horrible, horrible time that I had.
Was that with me?
It was with you. And I can't imagine
so long ago
tripping to this album. I can't. Like, I feel like this album in itself does enough to my brainwaves for me to get it. I'm like,
okay.
oh, dude. And then we bust into this song.
Yes. And
it makes me want to like go hunt something. I feel like I should be running through some like sci-fi woods and like murdering
tribal
monsters.
Yep.
I love it.
And then after like once the like drums and everything else kicks in, dude,
this
like because there's that's the best thing about it is they don't just add synth and it's a loop over like metal.
Right.
They are playing the instrument. You can hear it, and it goes.
Oh, the drums, especially adding to this, the
right.
Like it's perfect with that synth. Okay. It's perfect with that synth, and like you said, there's no. Well, and what I just said, there's no point where you go, okay, come on, like you've been doing this for 20 minutes, like
right,
like as soon as you've done that riff twice right there, then you got a little
something
bit
else
of a
the
step
same
up,
riff, maybe
and
a little
the vocals
more.
are like, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah,
like, yeah, man, tell me about it. Let me know what you have to say. I don't know because I don't speak your language. But holy fuck.
If there was one thing that I like I said when I was listening to it right at the beginning, I was like, I was right in that first track, and I was like, oh, this is such a good instrumental band. And then he comes in with the and I'm like, it's not my cup of tea with vocals. I think a lot of the times with almost any band, any music, any human being, the vocals are what make and break you on a band.
True.
And
because a lot of people, that's all they really go for in music.
If the dude can't,
that's my
if
problem.
the dude's not a beautiful singer in their head, then it's trash. Like
it's like, I'm not into it.
Right. I will have to say the first listen, I was like, I could do without the vocals because it's not that. I mean, it's not that he's bad. He's doing what he wants to do. He's doing it well, and it works with the music. But I personally wasn't a huge fan of it. The more that I've listened to this album, the more that it has grown on me. And
you can't imagine anything different.
Right. It is written with this music. This album is a cohesive monster. And yeah, like you said, now that I've listened to it. It's the
master's claw. Literally.
And
it's drippy. Like, okay, it's drippy. And his voice, I think, breaks up that drippiness. Think about it, if you had some, like if you took, like, a hymn approach or something, it's all like...
He is smiling.
And that wouldn't go.
No.
I mean, it would, but I wouldn't like it.
No.
You know what I mean? And I never was... all my metal love is fairly new for, 5-6 years or so. But, like, I like that. I really like the vocals. Just because he does scream and shriek, but he always has that, like...
Oh, yeah. That's what I said. He's doing what he wants to do and what they had in mind for this album. He's doing it really well. He's not...
Well, and too, the last stuff, like their former stuff, it's way more screamy. You've got way more like traditional black metal feel. But like what you read, it is different. It always progresses. There's always those weird parts. And I actually discovered this band probably a year and a half ago. And I was like, oh man, this is fucking unique. And I kind of, I listened to it for probably 3 weeks or so at work, and something else caught my attention, and I went on a different genre quest. And then this album came out, and I'm like, oh, I remember that name. What the fuck? Oh, that album. So I listened to this one and I was like, what the fuck? This is different than I remember. But wow. Just wow.
And hearing that, like I said, I haven't listened to any other album, but hearing that...
the last track. The last track, how it's very more like...
Yeah.
You know, your traditional, like, wish-wash, wish-wash, wish-wash.
Right.
There's a lot of that in that last track. It just kicks you off right into it. And meanwhile, you're still listening to the...
Right now, they're just straight punk...
Right. But no, it's, that last track, I think, is kind of like a, hey, you remember us. Like, this was a little way different. And here's this last one that's like, which I like too, because I find that a lot of European bands end things with a calm track.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Usually, if you have this band, hearing you talk about their older albums and stuff, they are very artsy.
Oh, it's super art.
And
yeah.
And artsy British bands, or European bands, I should say, not British bands, European bands, definitely seem to usually start on a note. Wherever they started, they like to bring you back there. And this album starts calm, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds, and it builds until, like you said, it kind of is like, here we are, here's the metal, you know what I mean? So like it is different to end on that aggressiveness rather than a calm.
Well, and I guess with the title too, it just gives you, I think if you gave it, if you're gonna call something the Master's Claw, it can't end calm, because
dragging you in that whole time,
and at the very end, it's over.
Right.
There's nothing, you don't escape that. So that build, that pressure, that feeling the whole time, it's there. No, I'm glad you like it, because I didn't know. I didn't know what to expect either.
See, like a lot of the stuff that you've metal wise that you usually are into, like I've never been a huge fan of drone.
Right.
Like drone is usually droning, like it's just the same thing for a long period.
Well, you mean
of time.
like sun and shit and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not trying to specifically shit on your favorite band ever, but
it's not my favorite. But they're not my favorite, but it is unique, and wow, I will tell you, if I can, the next time they're there and you can, I will buy your ticket.
I'd love to go.
And
I'll go see any band.
You'll be like, okay, I understand.
Like you said before, well, to me personally, not on here, but you said it's a feeling. You got to feel the music
to know
what the music is about, right?
Because that is a whole other topic. Which
when they're hitting a brown note, when they're hitting a brown note for an hour and a half, I'm sure it's different when you're there.
And we ate before we went in. Literally, and it's 25 minutes in, and finally, grandfather time hits that one note on the Moog that you're like, holy
Make sure you're wearing your Depends.
Oh. And they're all playing chords. It's not just like one's going, wee. It's like, you're like, okay, all right, yep, okay, just stand here.
I just gotta take a second here, hold it in, make sure I don't poop myself.
Right, dude, no, because you're right, it is. Like, I heard a guy, at one point last time I saw those guys, I felt my eyes moving. You know how, like, you look at a digital clock? You look at a clock and you can go, and it'll move, a digital clock.
Mm-hmm.
It was like that, only they were doing it to me. I'm like, what the hell? Like, now shaking. And as I was walking out, one dude said to his buddy, he's like, my fucking eyes were moving. And I was like, okay, I got it. Yep, yeah. There we are.
I would honestly love to see Oranssi, Pazuzu.
Wow.
Because it would probably be one hell of a time, man. Because you would have everything. You would have moshing. You would have, like, people just swaying of, like, waves. Right. You put crowd. It would just probably be a good time. I would love it.
Yes. I think, and I also think that they would translate it almost note for note, but with improvisation. Like you're going to
they're going off
what's going
on a tangent.
on, but there is also going to be a little, I think, I wouldn't think, since their songs are 10 minutes, they're not going to make them 20.
No.
But they are going to be
enough,
like
they have
15.
enough time in each song, and they have just enough repetitiveness to where they probably could add a lot of
noodling.
Noodling.
Little noodles in there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, maybe they're not into that. Maybe it's about setting up that atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, if they're tight and they want to,
I honestly feel like it would be about setting up the atmosphere.
That's how we were when we were, doing Spare Arrows. I feel like we never really wanted to be like tight on those songs. We had those songs the way they were supposed to feel,
and that's
why we did it.
Right.
So maybe they would be that way. I don't know, but it would be definitely interesting to see them live. All right, so do we want to like rate this album, or we just want to move on to the next one?
I don't think this is about rating, because all music is there is a friend of mine who I trade music with, and he gives me a lot of things that I like, and I give him a lot of things that he doesn't, because there's a bit of an age gap, and I try to bridge his weirdness, because like he has a little weird, but he's younger. It's just so unique, and I've learned more recently that it's like, as much of a snob as I am, you like what you like because that's why you like it, and it doesn't really matter how good it is overall.
No,
I will always shit on music. I'm not saying that, and you're like, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, he's gonna just be cool with everything. No, I'm gonna shit on Bruce Springsteen.
I'm more the one who will probably be cool with it.
Right, I'm the one who shits on shit.
I've been called a music whore.
I shit on the music, but I won't shit on the person for liking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, music slut. I'm a music slut.
Slut, yeah, because you don't pay for it. Haha.
I pay for Spotify.
I know, I'm just kidding. But that's still, I do too, and I feel like a thief. It's like robbery. I spend $16.
They get like 2 cents per a listen, yeah.
No, per 10 listens. Well, a lot of bands are lucky that I will put an album on over and over and over.
I honestly don't think it's per listen at all. I don't know how it works, but I'm pretty sure it's per ad.
It's not. Oh, jeez.
Like, so, yeah, they probably make more off a person paying for a subscription, because they probably that's the point of the subscription, so they don't have to run ads. So they probably give a little bit more to the artist, but I feel like most of what they make off of 90% of the people who don't pay for Spotify and just listen to it for free is all ads. Because they run ads every 2-3 songs. But, all right. So, we've discussed the Oranssi Pazuzu album. I can't remember.
Nesterin Kinsey.
Such a good album. Check it out, guys. It's on Spotify.
If that's how you say it.
It's on
I would like for some
Bandcamp?
Finnish person to yell at us and tell us how to say it.
You sons of bitches, you're butchering our language.
When we first started, didn't we have Strange Planet?
Oh, we have people.
Finland listeners?
Yeah, we have a lot of random people on listening. Yeah, so go listen to that. Go on Bandcamp. I saw that it's on Bandcamp. Support them. They get way more money off of Bandcamp. They get like 95 cents per download.
I didn't bring it up. I should have, but I bought the double vinyl of this album.
And it's sick. It's beautiful.
Dude, it's double, but it's side 1 and 2 on disc 1, and then disc 2 is side A, but side B is their logo, it's so great because you see so many like Old English script or Germanic script for black metal bands, or like your Bundle of Sticks script for like deathcore and blackcore and black metal. Yeah. And it's cool, I get it, but then it became this just like everything
generic
blanket. It did become generic, which is funny because it's a standard, so it is generic then. It's funny how, anyhow, it's a dove, like a dove or a sparrow or something flying, and then it says Oranssi Pazuzu.
Oh, that's.
But it's etched in the back of the.
Yeah,
it's etched in the back of that vinyl.
It is beautiful.
Okay.
It's pretty cool with vinyls nowadays that like we've come to this point where if you're buying a vinyl, you're probably doing it for the love of the band and the collecting, and it's cool that it's more about being artsy with the way you put out your vinyl now than it is about even listening to it on the vinyl. Like everybody's trying to make them look beautiful and unique, and you get more with it. It's like an experience itself. It's pretty awesome.
Well, there's actual, if any bands are listening, and if I ever have the chance to put out things on different medias, please mix your stuff accordingly.
Specifically for vinyl.
For what it is. Like, I know King Gizzard does that. Yeah. Like, there are different... Because my sister has a problem. She's like, why would I buy the fucking vinyl? Vinyl's, it's a digital, whatever, mix of digital recording. But no, they mix it. Certain bands, and you are totally capable of mixing it for its media. Its medium. Yeah.
All right.
But no, moving on.
Move on to the second half. The album that I passed on to you.
Nothing is real.
Nothing is true.
Nothing is true, and everything is possible.
Everything is possible. Which is Enter Shikari is a very social commentary band. They always have been.
And
very
like
politically...
your favorite band.
Oh, I've been. Enter Shikari came into my life in 2007 on MySpace. 2008. They were real small. They released a track on there, and I blew my mind, and I've been obsessed ever since. And go ahead and let James take you away on his take on this album.
Well, see, I'll give a little backstory on what my history of this band is. I would say my first introduction was 2012, 11.
Okay. So that was right around, like, their second album?
It's a song... The thing that sticks out to me was... Oh, man. He talks about a mountain, or a city on the mountain.
Oh, that was...
And then it drops into womp, 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 womp.
That was actually...
The next track.
The fourth album? That was Colors. And
so I listened to that and I was like, this is really cool, because the kid who introduced me to them, he burned me an MP3 CD and it had some High on Fire albums and Enter Shikari. And I thought that was just so like High on Fire, Enter Shikari. But hey, whatever, broad. But he had given me Bring Me the Horizon albums.
Ooh.
So I love the first two Bring Me the Horizon albums completely. And where they went with the fucking synth stuff, I hate.
Yeah.
But with Enter Shikari, it's pretty perfect.
Yeah, they've always done a very good job at incorporating music.
It's integrated very well, as to not make it too poppy. Like, it's still interesting to me. I feel impressed if people who are making money playing music have to impress me. But I don't know, that's what I like, because I play too.
Right.
So like, if I listen to something and I'm like, oh, that took
no effort, right?
But there are also simple songs that I love. But those are also predominantly older songs that haven't progressed to this point. So I don't know, this album in particular, the first track, this one, I can kind of hear it.
The Great Unknown.
The Great Unknown. And like you said, it is very commentary. There's substance to the lyrics, and I don't listen to lyrics, but they make me listen to them because they are like valid, or like they pique my interest. And I don't know, as far, my first impression was like, all right, cool. And then I think it's the second track is the one that is my least favorite. It's the second one, Rubicon.
Crossing the Rubicon, yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're crossing the Rubicon. I love it.
Okay,
I
listen,
love
and this is why you love it, because you're a little younger than me, and
I'm
I
31.
feel like I was just a little bit though, and when you're like 8 and you're 6,
That's a big difference. Yeah.
I'm able to like hate on the Disney Channel because I'm like trying to grow up, and I feel like listening to Rubicon. I told Laura, and she was laughing. You know, she's not a very emotive person, and she was like cracking up because we were driving in the car, and I was taking her to work last Sunday, and we're listening to "It's Crossing the Rubicon." I was like, see, because I wanted her to hear it because we were going to do this, and I was telling her that she had already heard the Oranssi, the last album. I was like, this puts me in the mind, like, this is my least favorite because it puts me in the mind of.
But how can you hate
watching? Listen,
when it comes in,
listen.
No,
that's fine. And then I'm like, okay, this is cool. Where are we gonna go? And where we went was
that bass.
We are in a Disney Channel movie, straight to TV. We are riding with. I'm a like dejected and downtrodden kid whose parents hate me and they kick me out, and I'm hanging out with my best friend's mom, and we just got ice cream, and we're riding along the coast in LA eating ice cream. It's like, it's so like, and I don't even listen to the lyrics because it puts me into the mind of like, if this is too happy, and
it's not.
I don't care.
If you know anything,
I don't even listen to it.
If you know anything about Rao, how he writes, the singer, especially the last album, if you listen to The Spark, he kind of went into a bad place in his life, and he said the only way he could think of coming out of it was writing the most happy, bubbly album he possibly could. But when you listen to the lyrics to all these beautifully bubbly, poppy songs, they're like the most depressing, angry, hateful lyrics ever.
Well, that's what I love about Of Montreal.
And that's where Crossing the Rubicon is. He says, fill me out a prescription for this existential dread.
Yeah.
Like, while it's going, fill me out a prescription. And that's the social commentary. That's his like humor, I guess, of writing is the worst.
It's cheeky.
Yeah, the worst, most depressing songs that he could write, he always puts them to the most poppy, bubbly songs that he could possibly write.
Got you.
And sometimes the heavier songs are about like the better stuff. I don't know. That's just a weird thing with him, I think.
I do like that. Like, I love that in Of Montreal.
Yeah.
You know, you listen to any and all. You have your ones that sound dark and ominous, and they have a dark and ominous tone, but a lot are pretty upbeat, and you're like, oh, wow, that was sad. like Famine Affair, that too. I like this. This is fun.
This is awesome.
I'm gonna have to give you some of Montreal albums to actually like really, really listen to, like this. But no, I would say my favorite song on this album is Tina. Which is that an actual acronym for
I would
something?
assume. I've wondered the same thing. I listen to this album every time I cut the grass
and try to get like what the acronym is,
yeah,
with like
and
songs or something.
Tina's one of my top favorites, and every time I'm like, I wonder what Tina stands for. Like,
right.
It's obviously, you know, like a social commentary on, you know, drones watching us and everybody listening to us, and everything's, you know, we have no privacy anymore. Oh, this song.
Yes.
Dreamers
This
Hotel.
is a good one. Yes.
That's what I wanted more. So when you're in the car with Laura and you're making fun of the Rubicon, and then this pops on, and you're just, is it like, oh?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's like, oh, I want to also not like, I want to not like it. I want to, because it's super poppy. I actually have made this statement to a couple different people. I don't understand why they're not the #1 most popular band in the world, because it is there are so many bridges gapped genre-wise, and it really makes me, I'm interested in it. It makes me, I like electronic. I like the electronic elements, the metal-ish, not really, more like hardcore. There's always
hardcore.
It's a punky.
Yeah,
it's a punky feel overall.
They can get metal, but they haven't done it in a long time.
Got you. But there's something for everybody. There's a fucking like score. There's a symphonic track on this album.
So these
it is just
the four guys in this band: Rao, Rory, Chris, and Rob met when they were kids in private classical music school. So when you get those tracks and Rao's just busting out the trumpet and he beautifully...
Oh, so they all play those things?
Yeah, dude,
those things
that's all played.
See, I thought that maybe they just wrote it and
Nope.
they had an orchestra come in and play it. They
What?
all play those
Oh, yeah.
parts.
Watch them live, man. It is beautiful. He pulls out the trumpet. He pulls out his trombone. They're playing pianos. They're all around.
That's one thing that stands out, that makes them stand out for me, is that you can tell they are all great players.
Yeah, they're not just doing it on a program on their computer and throwing something together that they know is going to get them #1 band in the world. You know
right,
what I
because
mean?
it sounds poppy and it sounds overly produced because they have the money to do it, but they also have the ability.
A funny
is what you're telling me, is what I've just taken from
the thing about them, though, I think I might have mentioned this to you in a conversation at some point, but in 2006, when they started, they wrote their first album, Take to the Skies, and they couldn't find anyone that they liked to mix or produce it. So they did it themselves. And they started Ambush Reality, their record company.
Okay.
Every album is theirs.
Right.
So they've never had... They bring an outside producer or whatever that they really like a friend of theirs or something, to produce the album, but everything is under their label. It's under their control.
They're the engineers.
Right.
You know.
So they write the whole thing,
it sounds the way
mix or record it, and then bring a producer in to make it produced and big and beautiful.
Well, that's probably also, though, what makes it special in itself, because there is the heart of the production.
Right.
Not just the creation.
I
think that's what there are numerous popular acts that could be better
if they didn't have their own hands on it,
or
they need an outside ear.
If they did.
Yeah, well, it's got to be a perfect.
It's
got to be a perfect balance. Yeah, like I say that to bands that I know personally that are like, I just want to do it all myself. I would just always suggest, write it yourself, record it yourself, give it a shot mixing it yourself, but bring an outside producer, bring another ear in, because it's always better to have someone else listening and giving you feedback about your music so that you're not biased completely 100%, just like, well, this is what I like. Because sometimes, not like 90% of the time, it's about what you like when you're writing your music, but you also want to reach those other people, you know?
Yeah, you kind of have to.
There's a reason that every album that
if you want it to be heard.
Right. Every album that Enter Shikari has released has had a song or the album on the top 10 in Europe. Every album.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And it's all, but it doesn't. It doesn't to me, because I've said this before. When I went to see them in Philadelphia in 2011, 12, I was blown away. We were in this tiny little hole in the wall, packed to the gills, elbow to elbow. Rao was climbing on top of me. I'm lifting him up while he's screaming in the microphone, and just, it was amazing. But no one, they were in the tiniest little venue. Like, they go over, they're in Europe, and they're selling out stadiums of tens of thousands of people. And then they come here and no one knows who they are. And it's just like...
Well, I mean, you look at the Hives, or Refused. They play South American festivals for 200,000 people or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I see them in Philadelphia. Where did you see them?
The theater, the arts theater.
Okay.
It's just it's just literally just called the Arts Theater or something like that. It's
it
right
was,
downtown Philly.
I saw the Hive show, Hives Refused, was in Franklin Music Hall, which is the old Electric Factory.
Yeah.
I think is what it used to be called. But it's like you said, here they are, and they do the same thing, but he has to like get down off the stage and walk 8 feet and then climb up on the thing where we see them in America in that tiny club. I don't know. We're fortunate, dude.
Oh, we're very fortunate.
To get to see that stuff there.
I was holding up Rao. Like, I was holding him up. And he's like singing above me, and I'm like, this is amazing. And all I've ever seen on YouTube is them in huge sold out festivals, like you said, where they have to run a mile just to get to a crowd member. Like, there's
to interact with.
Yeah, there's no personal. There's no sweat being exchanged.
No, and I fought people at the Hives. I lost my spot on the gate because they fucked up and got Pele slammed into the ground, like the steps, and I left the thing and was throwing people on the ground. I was very angry. I was like, they might not come back. What if he's hurt?
Don't screw this up.
All right.
Yeah, Rao actually got punched in the nose when they were playing. Me and Chase Ranker, we were pulling him over to help him up on the bar in front of us, and someone just thwacked him right in the nose, he got up and went like this. And he was, like, holding his nose with his T-shirt while trying to still sing the song. And I was like, you're in the moment. You're not, like, are you okay? Like, you're in the middle of the song. So, but, he got cranked. But
yeah, that's what happened when he was crowd surfing back and someone pushed. They, like a bunch of people pushed to touch him. And he just got shot over the bouncers. And the bouncer actually grabbed him then and, like, ripped him, so it was half the bouncer's fault too. I yelled at the bouncer just so everybody knows. And he hit chest first into the steps that came down off the stage, which they never used. They just stepped on the top of the steps and stepped right on the gate and stood on the gate. Like with that. No, that's cool that they do. That's that kind of show. Actually, my buddy I exchanged music with at work told me, he was like, you ever seen him live? I've seen him live like 3 times, and it's amazing.
They've won awards, like almost every year. They win the Kerrang Award or something for best performance or something like that, because they put all their money into the sound and like lasers, and like they put a big screen up and they do a lot of social commentary and political thing, and there's always like this big voice talking to the crowd and the crowd's chanting back, and it's just like, it's very cathartic and experience, and I see them in a little hole, and they've got everything packed onto that tiny little stage that they would have in a stadium, like, and it's just lasers and smoke and blazing craziness, and he's crowd surfing, and the guitarist is crowd surfing, and
that's cool.
I have a love for them, but I grew up with them, so I Take to the Skies is their first album, and they were angsty teenagers who wanted to make hardcore music, so it's way more intense and hardcore and way less synth, and each album has gotten progressively more. They grow up. They can't do the things that they used to do. They can't go ape shit. They can't scream the way they used to. They can't do a lot of that stuff, but they've gotten better playing wise and production wise. So why not grow with that? So when I listen to a new album like this one, or the Spark is so weird and different, the last album. And the one before that was Colors, or was Minesweep, and then before that was Colors. And Colors was just almost all dubstep.
Yeah, it's very wompy.
Yeah. And
that's the one, that was my introduction. Like, I don't know, I do have to listen to more. I will say, listening to this album.
First two, Take to the Skies and Common Dreads, are very metal and hardcore.
Chuggy.
With synth just... And it's not like programmed synth. You can tell Rao was playing it back then. He was like slamming the keyboard as fast as he could while he's screaming. And it's different than now where he's doing a lot of the writing at home. He does a lot of the programming and the house music and all that stuff himself. And then when they come together, he brings that with him and they build the song around his...
Okay, that was what I kind of figured. I figured there was a core songwriter.
Yeah,
and it was the singer.
Yep, he writes the lyrics. A lot of the guitar he writes too, but he doesn't play a lot on stage.
Right. No, I figured that. That makes sense. It sounds like that, but like you said, I think that they still having everybody else being like, oh, okay, well, what about this? I'm sure he comes with an idea and is like, oh, wait, no, man. Yeah, good fucking call. We'll do that instead. Or,
Oh, you can tell when you're listening to the songs. You're like, okay, this was probably like where the song started. And then someone was like, well, yeah, what about this crazy groovy thing? And you're like, whoa.
I'm sure that has a lot of, he's got to have a laptop up there to do shit too. As well, just because some of the like sequenced beats aren't played by drums in the album, so they're doing that. So he'll be like, you gotta like turn that off at some point, and they jam. And like you said, then that builds the next. They're like, okay, well, holy fuck, we got to do this. That was really cool. Yeah. We're gonna do that here, add this here, and then bring it back. Just be ready to click it again. That's one thing that I wish I could do musically, is have the gear to start things like that and stop them, but have them already, like I made them and built them.
Programs.
Like with like battles.
Programming, yeah, you see that a lot more in bands nowadays. There's almost no bands, even like smaller bands. I just went and saw Bill Murray recently, and there's only 3 dudes in that. But it sounds massive, and that's because he writes a lot of this stuff, programs it, and they backtrack.
Play to it.
Yeah, they play to it. And you see that more and more in these little bands and stuff, and you're like, before, I feel like when we were younger, teenage, I feel like that was kind of like frowned upon.
I still I want to frown upon it, but at the same time, how fucking hard is it to get your regular band together and play? It's pretty hard, especially the older you get.
Right. You have lives.
So if you want something to sound a certain way, whatever.
And you're still, as long as it's you. I mean, you're putting the time into it. You're putting the effort into it. You're putting the work into it. When we went to see Set to Stun, I mean, a ton of that was all backtracked.
True.
And they still
it was
blew my
three
mind.
guys.
Yeah, they still
4
blew
guys.
My mind.
They had that extra guitar player. That was
5
just kinda like,
and me.
Yeah. yeah, that's true. It was the 4 original band members, and halfway through the first song, Damien's like, "Get the fuck up here."
You only know all the lyrics.
he said, "Get up here," and then you did, and you got down, and he was like, "Where the fuck are you going?" That was ridiculous.
That was amazing. That was one of the greatest shows.
Moments of your life, I'm sure. At that point,
such a huge.
I would die. You know what I mean? Like, if I got to sing with like the Orwells or something, which I could have if I were closer at one show. But they got one guy who didn't know the words to "I Want to Be Your Dog." How do you not know the words to that?
Yeah,
I don't know the words to anything. No. They pulled an audience member.
Oh. Yeah, I feel like Set to Stun, every show, they're known for pulling a fan up because Damien's just going batshit crazy and can't sing the songs. And it seems like if you're if you're a Set to Stun fan and you're there, you're obsessed and you know all the lyrics. And I can't imagine them pulling someone up and them being like,
dude, if that would have been me, I'd have been like, no, man. I've listened to your album 3 times. I had no. But at this point, if it would be tomorrow, I'd be like, tell me who he was. I could totally fucking do it. I know a lot of it now.
She speaks her bloody bubbles as I struggle just to keep her head down.
Right? Yeah. You're like, okay, all right.
Yeah. So, back to the.
Yeah, sorry, we got scattered.
No, we're good. Nothing is true, and everything. Nothing is true, and everything is possible. I love it.
I was trying to pull that up.
I love it. I love it. It's definitely one of their most poppy, and I think.
Oh, it's very poppy.
For me, I think if people have been following the. Trend of my covers, my acoustic covers lately, I have been weirdly...
This one? Oh, you can still hear that? My computer must still pick it up.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry.
No, it's cool.
My mic. This is the one that I wanted to talk about because I thought this was it.
What is that, Marionettes? Yeah. Part 1.
It, I was listening at first, I'm like, yeah. And then that comes, I was like, okay. No, it's really, if we can ever see live music again, I'm definitely going.
Yeah, we should definitely. We should go to Oranssi and
good fucking
Shikari.
Luck. Good fucking luck.
Those two bands should play together. We should just have them play together, and then that'd be fun.
Could you even imagine?
I would love it. That's personally. It
would be okay.
That's me. I've always said, anytime someone goes, who would you want to see us play with? On Twitter or something, a band will say that, and I'll throw the most far out there band that I'm listening to. Why not? Give me some variety, man. Why do I always have to be one? Why do I always have to be one point? Why can't I spread my wings and fly?
It's a mindset, man.
My mindset is that way.
It's a mindset.
When I'm listening to my Spotify and the Carpenters come on and then Svalbard comes on right after that, I'm like,
I never do that.
That's perfect.
I never do that.
I'm happy.
No, thank you. I'm not. That throws me off.
I love it.
Puts me in a bad spot. I can't. No. Yesterday at work, I listened to Kesha, Lady Gaga, Robin.
Hell yeah.
But that's all together.
Oh,
I didn't listen to Oranssi, Pazuzu, and then Watain, and then Lady Gaga, and then fucking Gorgoroth, and then Knocked Loose, and then I keep my,
You keep your genres clustered.
Yes. Yeah.
I've honestly actually been, subconsciously seeking out. I just realized it right now. I've been seeking out, every time I find a new band, I'm like, they're just not scratching that itch anymore. And then, unless I do, I keep bringing up Bill Murray, because they're, one of the most recent bands where I've been like, God, this is what I need. And they are such a perfect mix of pop, R&B, lo-fi, and hardcore. And I don't know any other band that's lo-fi beats and pop music mixed with the hardcore screamo that I used to love back in the early 2000s. And that's where I feel like one band can satisfy that weird thing in my brain where I'm like, yeah, I want to hear someone sing beautifully, and then 5 seconds later I want to, have my face melted. I want that.
I don't like that. I don't like that. Not normally. That's not my normal thing. I don't really go for that. There are certain bands who do it.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm okay
you said
with it.
the Bring Me the Horizons first couple albums.
There's no singing.
Yeah, I guess they were pretty hardcore back then, huh?
The first one, there's none. The second one, there's none. And the third one, there is.
Yeah, I think it was the later ones where they kind of
Count Your Blessings. Count Your Blessings and Suicide Season. There might be like a and that was it, maybe in the second one, but then the third one there's some more singing. Sorry about that.
No, that was amazing because that's what it. I mean, it's like you listen to Poison the Well and you're like, does he sing in those albums? Because I don't think so. He screams a lot, and then once in a while he'll be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, and then he goes back to screaming, and you're like, at least he tried. I mean,
yeah, there was a little bit there, something.
All right.
Something.
So,
but no, I was looking here, and I enjoyed this, so I'm going to state the album I'm going to listen to further. I think I got like 3/4 of the way through it last night while I was making some of the best fucking cheeseburgers I've ever made in my entire life. Here's the thing, you gotta put Worcestershire sauce in your meat before you make them into patty.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And not a lot, just enough. Yeah, oh dude, I was like, and then slather them in black pepper. But I found a band last night called Anbar Sadat, Sadat, I don't know.
I feel like I have one of their albums on my Spotify already.
Erzatz Living.
It's on Bandcamp. I've definitely heard them before.
It's
Bandcamp is a very good unique place to dig some weird metal.
It's true. It's true.
I've went on such a rabbit hole in Bandcamp with metal one time. I ended up finding this like weird Mexican mariachi metal, and I fell in love with the album, and I still have it saved on my playlist to this day. Like Bandcamp's a great place to find weird metal.
But no, that'll be my next pick for the next go.
I don't have one at the moment. I'll probably do something that I just probably keep on my obsessions for a little while. So like, it's gonna either be a Bill Murray album or it's gonna be a Bad Luck album. I haven't decided.
I've listened to neither of them.
Yeah. So Bad Luck's more of like a hardcore punk, hardcore pop punk, and Bill Murray's more of like a lo-fi R&B hardcore.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Okay.
But yeah, this was fun.
It was.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you stuck around and did listen, I mean, I feel like this is more of our niche. Like we've always wanted to talk about music, and we never really get to. So we'll keep if people like this, and even if people don't like this, we'll probably keep doing it.
Yeah, probably. I enjoyed it. I have to get it out anyhow because I'll like talk to myself about it.
Let me. All right, so I guess we say our names. I've been Corey James,
and I've been. Who have I been? No, I've been James May.
Jimothy, the May James.
Jimothy the Baron. Baron von Jimothy. Baron von Jimothy.
Oh yeah, so hey, if you guys are enjoying all this content we've been pumping out, usually Saturdays or Sundays at like 4:30, 5 a.m. we stream.
Do some streaming.
We do some streaming on Twitch. We do some Warzone, some Call of Duty, some of that with our buddy Jesus Crust. And
Krusty.
You can watch that.
Well, we don't invite him, so he's never. Well,
he's not our friend, but we play with him anyway. But you can catch those at any point in time if you go to the Suicide Moses Twitch page. They're all backlogged on there. You can watch them anytime. You don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. with us if you don't want to.
There are like 2 wins on there, I think.
Yeah, the only time we win is when we're not streaming.
It's true. So we've won more, but we just don't stream them.
Yeah. We got the Strange Planets podcast every week. Tune in for that with our buddy Anthony Zevatek. We've been doing that for years. We just brought it back. Those are fun.
They are fun.
We're always adding music and stuff to the YouTube channel.
I'm not. Soon.
We got some live performances of James's on there and some EPs of his. some acoustic EPs. We need to get some new stuff from you.
Yeah, I have ideas. There will be something new soon. Been having band practice, not including Corey. Not that he's not welcome. It's just different. So yeah, there's that coming soon too. I have practice this weekend. We had our first practice last weekend, which is fucking sweet.
Awesome. All right.
Well, first practice back from the death shit.
The death shit.
Yeah, the not doing anything.
Right.
But no. Yay.
All right. We'll see you guys later for the next one when we talk about 2 new albums. Later on, guys.